Hello and welcome back to Single Malt Lover. If you're new to the channel, my name is Reswold and I post videos on cocktail recipes, bar reviews, distillery tour and whiskey reviews. I really enjoyed the tour, so I wanted to dip my toes in the single malts. So Paul John decided to provide me with their entry-level single malt whiskies, which is the Nirvana and the Edited. And thank you, Paul John, for providing me this amazing whiskies, and thanks for that. And we have Jorishan on the show here. Jorishan, thank you for joining me on this amazing, beautiful single malts by Paul John. A review on those and the unboxing. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
So without any further ado, let's get into it. Everyone loves and enjoys blended whiskies, so Paul John has designed a whiskey, a single malt, keeping in mind to reduce a palate, which is to familiarize from a blended to a single malt, which is the Nirvana. And
today we have this Paul John's single malt whiskey. Paul John's distillery, it's situated in Goa, in Kunkolim.
South Goa.
South Goa, yeah. And you would say, why Goa? Well, as you know, Goa is very rich in water resource. So that clear crystal water, it helps to give that distinct flavor to the whiskey. All right. So today's the expression Nirvana. It's basically an unpeated whiskey. All right. Nirvana basically, it's you can say an expression of peace or being happy, so that is basically. So today we're gonna do the unboxing and review of Paul John's single malt Nirvana expression. You can say it's an entry level single malt for the beginners.
Yeah, wherein for the beginners, in the sense is like if you're a blended whiskey drinker, if you love drinking blended, and if you have your thought on trying a single malt and you don't know which single malt to try, well, Paul John has sorted everything out for you, putting together a bottle of a Nirvana, which is making it so familiar to a blended palate, which is a single malt, which is familiarizing the palate close to a blended whiskey. So Nirvana is a bottle. It is bottled at 40% ABV, and it is rated at 94, if I'm not mistaken. If you could check on the box on the other side, it's rated at 94.5 or something on the other side. Yeah, it's rated at 94 by Jim Murray in the Whiskey Bible. If you don't know who Jim Murray is, I'll link his information in the description down below.
So it's a nice orangish box with an elephant face on the label.
As you can see, it's got a beautiful Indian touch to it on the box design, which is really interesting and looks eye-catching. And the price of this bottle is about 1600 Indian rupees. So if you want to do the calculation in Europe or in US, you can do the math according to the rates.
So let's get started.
Let's get started, guys. The moment of truth, or the excitement part, I would say. This whiskey has also won multiple awards. It's all on the side over here. Wow.
Alright, there you go. Very polished and a nice bottle design, you can say, a very rich look.
Unpeated Nirvana, Indian single malt. Wow, that looks interesting. This is my first hand on this bottle. I have not seen this bottle, or I have not tried this whiskey, so it's gonna be the first one expression on the whiskey here. So if you have a look closely, there you go. I hope the camera catches this thing. As you can see, it's 750 ml, bottled at 40% ABV, and I think it's batch number 7. It's batch number 7. So wow, we are the 7th. So why wait? Let's unwrap it and get started. You want to do the... I think you do it. You go ahead.
Alright, we're gonna take off the seal.
He's traveling with the sail. It's got a nice wooden cork to it, as you can see it over here.
Alright. It has a nice wooden cork. Alright.
Oh my god, guys, I don't think, and I don't know if you guys can, I don't, it's crazy, but you guys are not gonna get what I'm getting. As soon as you opened it, it's all filled with aroma here.
So yeah, let's pour it in and give you a review of the Nirvana.
So guys, here we have the first pour out from the bottom, and well, it's got a deep copper color to it, which is amazing for a Nirvana, which is the beginner's whiskey, and it's got a thin body to it. If you have a look at the lines over here, what do you get it?
So as you know, Paul John's single malts are usually made from a 6-row barley, unpeated and matured in a American oak casks. So if you try to nose it, you get a malty sweet dry prunes flavor, you know.
I'm getting, it's more on the fruity side as well.
Yeah,
and I think I'm getting honey.
Vanilla as well, you know.
I get a
vanilla essence as well, you know.
There's a lot of honey into it, and I'm getting the pure barley malty nose.
A slight hint of cinnamon as well, I can feel in here, you know.
A bit of spice, yeah, that could be the cinnamon. If you nose it too long, it just hits the spice.
Yeah. Don't you get drunk, Reswell? We have one more edited expression to take care of.
Wait, relax. I mean, I know we have got the other one to take care of, but let me dive into the Nirvana here. Let me see what it's. The palate. Talking about the palate, it's got the again. It's sweet on the palate. Not very sweet, but it is sweet on the palate. I get the barley as well. Hint of spice in it, and as you said, it's the cinnamon in that as well, which it's an note to it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, as we said earlier, it has a sweet taste to it, you know.
More of fruity cake like.
More of fruity hint of fruitiness, you know, in that. It basically reminds me of a humid day at the beach, you know. It's not harsh, I would say.
It's got basically a nose of a dark chocolate, if I'm not mistaken, a dark chocolate, and on the palate, I'm getting a lot of spices. I would say ginger, cinnamon, and again besides the spices, I'm getting the dry oak as well. Vanilla.
Yeah, as we said earlier.
Yeah.
There's a hint of vanilla in there.
A hint of vanilla, and on the sweeter note, it's as well. I'm getting a palate of honey. Check that. And I'm getting a bit of bourbon. Correct me if I'm wrong.
As it is aged in American oak cask, you know, so you must be getting that bourbon hint to it.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get the bourbon hint.
Yeah.
And talking about the finish.
On the finish note, you get a immensely long and richly flavored of honey dissolving, you know.
And barley as well on the finish note.
Yeah.
It's
it has a soft touch to it, and I would say it's medium length whiskey.
And guys, I would say this is the whiskey that I would love to drink. Man, a single malt at this range with that price, a whiskey that you must try.
Yeah, perfectly
I mean,
said.
if you don't believe us, like if you don't believe what we say, you got to try it yourself and let us know in the comments below what you think about this whiskey.
And yeah, on the Paul John single malt, there's no age statement mentioned on the bottle.
Yeah.
It's a factor which is with regards to angel share. In India, the percentage of angel share is around 10%.
10%.
10%.
That's a huge amount.
Yeah.
Whereas in Scotland, it's just 2% every year we're talking about. So can you imagine angel share that India loses on a barrel? It's huge amount.
So basically, it's the humid climate of India. The temperature plays an important role in the maturation,
Of the whiskies.
of the whiskeys in India.
It matures at a faster rate as in Scotland. There's a lot of difference between the two because of the weather here.
So that's the reason there's no age
Statement.
there's no age statement mentioned on the bottle.
And guys, if I haven't mentioned, it's a non-chill filtered whiskey. Like they don't chill filter the whiskey. So that's another part where it plays an important role in having all these beautiful flavors in it. I have finished my whiskey. That's how good it is. I don't know. We are still struggling, but I'm done here. I think I'm looking for more, but we got to try the edited.
Still got to try the edited.
The edited. Let us know what do you think in the comments below, and let me know how do you like this whiskey here. So, and let us know which is the next whiskey that you want us to try.
As Razul said earlier, 1600 Nirvana, it's a total bargain, guys. With the richness it has to offer and the aromas in it, you would be blown away. I would say, if you're willing and keen to experience a single malt, you should definitely go for it. The exotic richness of this whiskey would captivate any whiskey lover. Not only a single malt, but any whiskey lover, as well as an amateur. Equally balanced whiskey, I would say.
Definitely.
Although it's a beginner's whiskey, as we said earlier, there's no reason why shouldn't we consider this Nirvana to be the best among the rest. And if you're looking for happiness, peace in a whiskey, Nirvana is it for you guys.
So guys, let us know, drop us a comment below about this whiskey, and I'm sure you guys have second thoughts about it. Why have thoughts? Have a Nirvana and clear all your thoughts about it. So it's time to move on to the edited, guys. Edited is gonna be up. So guys, before we move on to the edited, I just forgot to mention one thing. If you do want to see cocktails made with the Nirvana or with the single malts that we have here, do let us know in the comment below. What do you think about these cocktails?
Yeah, certainly, because it will be very interesting to try cocktails with single malts,
And it can explore, the distinct flavors out of it. So the cocktail is going to be quite amazing.
True.
Yeah. So guys, let's move on to the edited. So Paul Johnson wanted to introduce a peat to a palate that has never tried peat before. So if you're a palate that has never tried a peated whiskey, and if you tried a peated whiskey, it could be a total turn off. So to familiarize your palate with what peat could taste like or smell like, we have got the edited.
And yeah, as according to Paul Jones, edited is where the folks at Paul Jones put forth their mastery into making this wonderful single malt. It's made with 6 barley, and Scottish peat.
Yeah, it is from the region of Islay, if I'm not mistaken.
So you can say it's carefully distilled with all their hard work and dedication, with all the experience they put in here.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Worked out with my the master distiller as well, Michael D'Souza. Has put in efforts to bring this whiskey to a palate that has never tried peated whiskey before. Before we open the bottle, I think I would like to tell you what happened to me. When Paul John has done something so interesting, so exciting. I think I wanted to try a peated whiskey, and I had a Lafroig. It was I think 10 years old or something, and I tried Lafroig, and I just didn't like it. You know, it was a total turn off to me. It was like, oh my god, what am I having? Because my palate is to unpeated whiskey, and I wanted to try it. And Lafroig is highly peated whiskey. You know, it's so smoky, and well, this is something, you know, where you could always start and to know and understand what peat could taste like. A peated whiskey, wherein the editor has, you know, come in place.
You cannot compare that with Lafroy because
Yeah, you cannot.
it's slightly peated, you can say, you know, slightly peated.
But you know, like for me, it was a total turn off because it was like 100% a peated whiskey, and I wanted to try, like, to know what is peated whiskey, and I, you know, that time it was like the Lafroig where I had the opportunity to try. But now I'm so excited that Paul Jones has come out with the editor where you can familiarize and know what peat and could taste like or smell like. So, guys, what do you think? Like, without any further ado, I think we should get into it, right?
Sorry.
So I think I'll do the unboxing. Oh wow, this is a nice box. And oh, that's the silicone as well here, right? In the box. As yeah, you can see, this is the editor. I don't know if the camera can catch that as well. But there you go. It's got it's bottled at 46%. Single malt, non-chill filter. It's got a non-chill filtered label as well. And if you don't know, Editor was highly rated by Jim Murray in the Whiskey Bible. It was rated at 96.5,
I guess.
Let's check it out in the bottle. It's 96.5 by Jim Murray, highly rated whiskey. And so that means this is gonna be quite exciting whiskey for us. And I think before we open the bottle, let's rinse our palates with some water if you would like to, because I just want
that's a practice we need to follow when tasting a whiskey. You need to always rinse your palate after tasting one whiskey to another. Yeah?
Otherwise you would mix it, it would just, you would never understand the taste of this whiskey. That is something nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me open this. Oh, I think I'm also struggling with the seal.
I think the Nirvana is acting on it.
Could be. There you go. And as well, it's got a nice wooden cork to it. Wow. I like
That's
that
a nice
sound.
popping sound.
Let's get on to it.
Right. Thank you.
Wow, there. So the moment of truth. I think let's start with the color. It's got basically amber color to it.
Yeah, the shades of amber.
Amber, yeah. If you say, I hope the camera can get this. And the body about, it's got, if I'm not mistaken, thin to medium body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are not much legs to the whiskey.
It's got about medium body to it.
Medium bodied, you can say. Yeah. Like a peach tea, you can say,
Yeah, I would put it that way. So on the nose, I get the hint of peat. Basically, it's smoky.
Yeah. Smokiness. There is smokiness in there as it is peated whiskey.
Yeah, peated. Yeah. Along with the peated smoky nose that I get malted barley as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a hint of cocoa,
Yeah, I get cocoa, as you mentioned. I get a nose on the butterscotch and of basically butterscotch and fruit, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about you? What else do you get on the nose?
Some chocolate flavors coming out of there. I think we should add a drop of water to it, to
Open up the whiskey?
open up the whiskey.
Yeah, but before we add the drop of water, I think it's better we directly take it on the palate and try it that way.
All right.
Yeah, and I do get honey.
Mm-hmm.
I do get honey on this. And yeah, so now with the nose down, so let's go take it on the palate, right?
Certainly.
On the palate, getting peated. Instantly, I get peated flavor to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do get basically, I would say, spices.
Yeah. Very mellow whiskey, you can say, with a very complex palate, hints of cocoa. There's a...
I think there is a buttery.
I can get a rush of mint as well to it,
Hidden, could be, yeah. And I do get a fruity note to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is really interesting. Like this whiskey, my God, man. No doubts, like to try and to understand what peat could taste like. Paul John has really well crafted this whiskey to understand and to know what peat could taste like. I wish I had this whiskey a long time back before trying the Lafroig, which now I think since my palate is towards the unpeated, I would never step back to continue with the edited, because it's not on the smoky side. It's not on the smoky side. It's a semi-peated whiskey. Like from there to here, like from the Nirvana and to try a edited which is semi-peated, which is not even 100% peated. It's an interesting whiskey. I would say an interesting single malt.
It's not very overpowering, I would say. Get some hints of turmeric.
Could be. Very interesting. I think let's go on the finish of this.
Yeah. With regards to the finish, I would say it's a good sense of balance to it. It has a good sense of balance to it.
Yeah, it's got
medium bodied. Yeah, medium bodied with
smoky finish.
Smoky finish and
spice.
Hints of spice and chocolate to it. All right.
I must say I'm really enjoying this whiskey, guys. This is what I would really continue with one of the single malts that would be the edited. Oh, I mean, guys, I think we had spoken about the water and I just forgot about it. So let's add a drop of water. There you go. I think that's a lot. Again, it's a lot. So adding water, you would get to explore the hidden notes in the whiskey. Basically, it opens up a whiskey, and so let's find out. I mean, it's more smooth on the palate right now.
Yeah.
It's more smooth on the palate. Before it was a bit on the harsher end, but right now it's way too smoother. Adding a drop of water.
It gives you a sense of chocolate being chewed in your mouth,
I would say a dark chocolate.
Yeah.
A dark chocolate.
Grassy or woody finish to it.
Yeah, that would be the oak.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the oak, well, this one has been matured for about 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Although there's no age statement
There's no
mentioned
age
on the
statement.
whiskey. As said earlier, because of the climate in India.
Yeah, the angel share that takes place where we lose about 10% of our whiskies in India on each of the cask. You would be thinking, like, what is an angel share? Basically, it is Angel share is something where you lose a lot of whiskey. Basically, in India, it's 10% whiskey loss from a cask that it gets evaporated because of the humidity here in India. And whereas in Scotland, because of the good climate, they lose about 2% of the whiskey from their cask. So the more longer the whiskey is in the cask or the barrel, the more it loses. Like every year, it just keeps decreasing. You know, it just keeps evaporating. And you might be saying, like you might be thinking like what this bottle is priced at. This bottle is priced at 3,050 rupees.
All right.
Indian rupees. You could do the conversion in Europe or in Asia or in US. So why the whiskies are expensive? So why the single malts are expensive? Basically, the expensive is because of their rarity, and because I would say the second reason would be the loss in angel share.
All right.
That would be the one of the reasons that single malts are always expensive. Whereas in Nirvana, which is the bottle priced at about 1,600 rupees, it is probably matured at about 3 to 4 years. So you know that's where it doesn't get expensive, and it's a whiskey which is done to familiarize palate from a blended to a single malt. Yeah.
It's an extremely alive single malt. It has all the complexities to offer to any single malt lover or any whiskey lover.
Basically me. I'm a single malt lover.
And as well as the amateur, it will be a friendly whiskey to any palate, you can say.
Any palate. Yeah. Like I said, you know, it's easy to understand what peat could smell and taste like. It's very, very easy.
Yeah. It starts nice, and it gets better as it goes.
Yeah.
And with the unique characteristics it has to offer, it's surely worth a try, you know.
Exactly. Since you might be thinking like, oh, having that curiosity in you guys, like about the peated whiskey, you know, and to understand what peat is. There's a video that I have done of a distillery tour with Paul Jones. You could check the link below, or I could put it somewhere up here. There it's all explained to you. So that tour would make you understand about how the whiskey is made. And yeah.
From my point of view, the edited expression of Paul Jones, I would say it would be very interesting to try it in cocktails as well, you know, with you know, exactly, all that smokiness it has to offer.
Yeah.
It gives that peat touch to it.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, it would be very interesting to know about it.
Yeah, do drop us a comment below, guys, and let us know which cocktails you want to see made with this beautiful Indian single malts. Let me tell you one thing: there are tons of cocktails that can be made. So if you want to see something special with these two bottles up here, drop us a comment. And obviously, I'm sure I think this time it's gonna be both of us doing a cocktail and giving it a try. What do you say about that?
Certainly. Before we wind up, we have this Nirvana, which is unpeated. It has the soft, fruity touch to it, and Paul Jones' edited version, which is peated whiskey, edited to perfection. So both whiskeys, I would say, provides you a enjoyable sipping experience, you know.
Exactly.
So you need to try them both.
Yep, you have to. Basically, the great Indian single malt. And do let us know, drop us a comment below, guys. Let us know what you think about the edited when you try it, or when you try a whiskey. So let us know about the edited. Do let us know about the Nirvana. And that's a wrap for the video, guys. If you want to see any more videos on whiskey reviews, again, do drop us a comment below. We'll be waiting for your comments. And that's a wrap for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we post or come up with new videos. And that's it. I think cheers.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers to you, and enjoy the Paul Jones Great Indian Single Malts. I think I really love this whiskey.